After the unrest in Ferguson, Missouri, potential 2016 presidential hopeful Dr. Ben Carson has come up with a solution that he says might help prevent more incidents like the shooting of Michael Brown. Government-funded childcare. Carson writes, quote, "We should devote some of the tax revenues generated to childcare facilities. We must concentrate on these kinds of programs because we cannot afford to lose large segments of our society to despair and underachievement in an increasingly competitive world." His suggestion coming off the fact that he says young black men don't have father figures. So is more government intervention the answer? Sabrina Joy Stevens is the Executive Director of Integrity in Education. She joins us from D.C. And Kevin Jackson is the Executive Director of the Black Sphere. He joins us today from St. Louis. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sabrina, I understand you do not agree very often with Dr. Ben Carson, but on this you do.
Well, yeah, I think, we need to remember first that when we say government here, we're talking about our fellow Americans. Now, it's a problem when those of us who are police officers and public officials oppress us instead of protecting us, as happened in Ferguson. But if Ferguson has taught us anything, it's that we not only need to resist government tyranny no matter where it happens, but we'd also be much better off spending a lot more on small children and a lot less on big weapons.
All right, Kevin, what do you think?
Well, it's funny, we want government, get to less government tyranny, but we want more government tyranny in the form of taxes. Look, the solution is not to put more money into another federal program. Everything that goes into a federal program is a money dump. And the idea that I understand what the call out for helping kids, but how about we start helping families? That's where it starts.
Absolutely. And Sabrina, when you take a look at the amount of money the government spends on entitlements and other government-funded programs, back in 2012, we spent $254 billion on welfare, $80 billion on food stamps. And, did that really help wipe out the war on poverty? No.
Well, first of all, I don't consider it a money dump when we invest in children and when we invest in our fellow Americans who are actually providing services for them. Now, we'd probably be less reliant on programs like food stamps and welfare if we actually were, helping people get back to work and support their own children by making sure that they have a safe place to keep their children when they work.
Right, exactly. Kevin?
Well, but she's made an excellent point. Let's start focusing on jobs. But more importantly, let's start focusing on having young men stay with their families and take care of their families. All of these things point right back to this very basic thing that conservatism is based on, which is the support of the family. So yeah, it's interesting to say, we need to support children. Everybody understands that, but you support children best when you support that conservative value known as the family.
And exactly, which is why we need to actually make sure that those families can provide for children. Parents can't be in more than one place at once, and so they need to be able to actually have a safe place to keep their children when they're working. The other thing is that research has shown time and again that this old stereotype needs to be put to rest.
Which one?
Parents of all colors, including black fathers, are very involved in their children's lives. But the fact is that anybody who works in this country knows exactly how hard it is to find quality, affordable child care. And I don't see how anybody can be against that.
Kevin, do you agree with her that black fathers are involved in their children's lives?
I didn't say black, just for the record. But yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, I agree that there's a lot more fatherless situation going on in the black community. But this is a community at large. So yes, we definitely need to be paying attention to this. But I think that every time we run to the idea that government is going to solve the problem, we create a new entitlement, and it ends up backfiring. What we'll end up doing is having government be mommy and daddy as opposed to parents. When you have babies, take care of them. That's the real solution.
And how are people supposed to take care of their kids if they can't go to work?
All right. Great points on both sides. We thank Sabrina Joy Stevens and Kevin Jackson for joining us live. Folks out there in TV land, what do you think the government should do, if anything? Email us. Thank you. Meanwhile, still ahead, a town rejects a mosque from being built because of a zoning issue, but the Department of Justice calling it racial discrimination. Really? Closer look at that story. Plus, we're closing out our summer concert series with country superstars Thompson Square, the couple. They're answering your email next.